Welcome back, guys. This is Fearful Hog. Today I'm going to be talking about Dead by Daylight, a game that I've quite a bit of history with. I want to make a video on this game for a while, but I haven't. But a new chapter just released, and that gives me a good opportunity to talk about it. So, with that being said, let's get right into the video. I'm not really sure when I started Dead by Daylight. I checked my trophies, and the oldest one seemed to be from 2018. So, maybe that's when I started, but I can't know the exact day. But I know when I played it, I immediately loved it. So I have some on and off patches with Dead by Daylight. Sometimes I'm playing every single day and I'm loving every single second of it. Then there's other times where I take like 6-month breaks from this game because the game can be really frustrating and really fun at times. With my history being explained now, it's time I actually explain what type of game Dead by Daylight is. So in case you don't know, Dead by Daylight is a 4v1 game. It's online. And so there's 4 survivors, and the survivor's task is to repair generators, and when 5 of them are repaired, it powers the exit gates. Then they need to power up the exit gates by going to a little console beside it and holding it down for long enough. Then it opens, then the survivors can escape. And it isn't as easy as holding down a button though, because when survivors are fixing generators, they need to hit some occasional skill checks. And I'm going to be 100% honest, for someone that's played the game for a long time, these skill checks are very easy. They're not that hard to hit. Like, maybe for newer players they're harder to hit, but like, for me, on average, like, every 50 games I miss a skill check. I miss a few more skill checks if the killers are running gen slowdown perks, but I'll explain what perks are in a later segment in the video. So in me explaining what the survivors do, it's time I explain what the killers do. So their one goal, if you go down to the root of it, is to sacrifice the survivors. And the way you do this is by hitting a survivor 2 times, then they'll go onto the floor in down state, then you pick them up, bring them over to a hook and place them on it. There are some perks that have like certain conditions where maybe the hit that would usually down them doesn't, but again I'll explain perks in the later part of the video. But that's the main goal of the killer. Although, while doing this, they also need to make sure that they have enough pressure on the other survivors that they're not chasing, so they don't all just complete a generator each. Because it's all fine and dandy if you're chasing the survivor for 5 minutes, then you down them, but then 3 generators are immediately done for the survivors, and they just need to do 2 more, and then you lose. So half the game is about downing survivors, but the harder part is putting pressure on the survivors that you're not currently chasing, and the main way you do that is by using perks. And I'm going to explain some of the more vital perks now. So first I'll start off with the most vital survivor perks. So there's a lot of different types of perks in Dead by Daylight, but the most useful perk overall, I think, recently got nerfed, but it's still an amazing perk. It's called Dead Hard. If you get hit once by the killer, you're not put down state, you're put injured state. If you press X or A, depending on what console you're on, I don't know what it is for PC, you do a dash forward. And if the killer hits you in this, in the frames of you dashing, it will not down you. It will do something called, you need to mend, but I won't get into mending in this video. So, that is one of the most vital perks in the game because it practically gives you another health state. And now getting on to killer perks. So there is a lot of good killer perks. And there's a lot of different variants of killer perks. There's information perks, which allows you to see the orders of people. There is gen slowdown perks, which are the most oppressive perks because it can legitimately just stop people from doing gens, and that's Survivor's main objective. So I'll get into 2 different ones of the different genres. There are different genres, but these are the 2 most important. So for gen slowdown, I have to go with Deadlock, because it's kind of a mix of information and gen slowdown. Because there are other ones like DMS, also known as Dead Man's Switch, which is if you interrupt a survivor while they're on a generator while you have another survivor on the hook, that generator will get blocked for 30 seconds. But Deadlock is even better because if a generator gets completed, it will block the generator that has the most progress apart from the generator that's just completed, which is extremely useful in combination with other perks and just by itself, because it doesn't only stop the highest generator from getting completed right after a different generator got completed, but it also gives you the information of telling you what generator is close to being completed. So that's a really useful perk. Then for information, I'm going to need to go with Lethal Pursuer. So I don't usually run this because I think over the time I've played Killer, I've gotten better at just finding people quickly in the matches. But Lethal Pursuer is amazing for experienced players and new players alike. It is locked behind a character that you need to buy with real money. Same with Deadlock. Same with most of the good perks in the game, but that's neither here nor there. Lethal Pursuer, at the start of the match, it shows you the auras of all survivors for 9 seconds. Which is extremely good for survivors that aren't... for killers that aren't really good at finding survivors early match. Because this practically tells you exactly what every survivor's doing. So the best situation is if you have Deadlock and you see that there's 3 survivors on one gen and 1 survivor on the other. Because in that situation you should go for the 3 generator. The one that has 3 people on it. Because then you can immediately put pressure on 3 players instead of 1. So that's why I think that Lethal Pursuer is one of the best perks in Dead by Daylight for killers. My overall opinions on the game are, it's very good for people that enjoy doing the same thing over and over again. But because of all the perks, I'm pretty sure there's like 100 survivor perks. And like, I'm not sure how many killer perks, but... So, I think overall I'd have to give Dead by Daylight a 9.5 out of 10. If you can get into the gameplay loop of the game, I think it's amazing. The skill ceiling is so high for this. There's some killers that are absolutely insane if you get to know them properly. And there's some survivor builds that can completely destroy killers if you use them properly too. So that's why I think Dead by Daylight's an amazing game. I'd recommend anyone that likes it. Yes, it's kind of horror, but after like 10 hours the horror kind of goes away because it isn't really scary unless you're playing against a stealth killer. There's a lot of IPs in this game that will get people into it, like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. So that brings in a lot of new audience. I'd recommend anyone that has the time to try it out because it's just great. With that being said, if you'd enjoyed this video, it would really mean a lot for me if you'd subscribe because statistically speaking, if you're watching this, there's a 96% chance that you're not subscribed. So if you'd enjoyed this video, I put a lot of effort into it. It would mean a lot if you could like and subscribe. And tell me in the comments below if you'd like to see me make some more Dead by Daylight content, maybe stream it sometime, because I really enjoy the game. So with that being said, thank you for watching, see you next time, have a great day.